Greetings. Hey, it's Susie Q. I'm still processing the first video. It's related to three levels of consciousness, and there's going to be three different states of awareness that we're going to be working through. And even as an Akashic reader that I am, I'm learning all the time. And again, on that first video, I was talking about the more that I kind of talk through some of these things that have been helping me and assisting with my beautiful consciousnesses, I'm just noticing that there's some different ways that we can process information, and sometimes it's a non-linear way of understanding what's best for me now, or was it before, or past lives, or future lives. All of these things are really kind of concurrently running somewhere in our field of consciousness. And so today we talked about three different automatic written pieces via the Akashic Records. And so now I'm breaking it down in a different way and noticing that the three pieces that I did were kind of spectacular, fun, cheeky. The first one was pretty cheeky. And so we're going to kind of break it down a little bit. And again, this will be part two of this video. I have not put it on YouTube yet. So, all right. So we're looking at the Akashic Records, and this is what I started doing. I learned about my Akashic Records probably in 2015, and then as we go back in time, back to 2008, that's when the automatic written pieces started, and I had no awareness about Akashic Records back then. And so a lot of my written pieces from 2008, I did it every day for a year in 2008, and I continue to write. But then I kind of discerned in 2015 that I have access to work with the Akashic Records. Now I'm kind of guessing, did Susie not know that or what? It's like, did Susie know what was actually happening? She really didn't know. But back in 2015, she had many gifts, and it wasn't a fun time. There was just a bunch of bands of energies that came through, and it was very challenging for me at the very beginning. But now everything is kind of like super smooth and super awesome. And so that Akashic record, it's kind of like, again, like when you're looking at like a linear way of, time and space and events. But when you start going deeper with understanding more about who you are and what you're operating with and the stories of your lives in this lifetime or any other lifetimes, is that you start noticing that I'm kind of catching a different vibe. The vibe is, I'm starting to notice that the Akashic Records back in 2008 were assisting me with Akashic, records. And then in 2015, I realized I had the capacity to do this, but I never knew the words. I knew about Edgar Casey eventually, and then I still didn't even have any thoughts about that. It took me about 2015 to go, hey, I'm actually having some weird experiences and going into past lives. And so that's what happened. All right, so on this video that we did just a little bit ago, we're talking about three different states of consciousness. And so there are three levels of consciousness that we'll be working with. And there's going to be three distinctive levels of consciousness that might be assisting my own divinity, or maybe encouraging you to look at the underpinnings of some of your life stories. I wouldn't say get all like stuck at like Chuck with it, but know that whenever I am speaking on these videos, there's many layers of consciousness, and it could just be through even if you like turn the volume off, I think you're still going to be catching that vibe. But I want you to hear it though, for sure. So all of these states of consciousness are working for us. So I've got some notes here. So when we're working with these three bands of energies, we see the first one is what we call the third dimension. And this dimension was kind of cheeky. It was kind of fun. And it was kind of like going into, being more realized with your body, your physical self here, boots on the ground. And we call that maybe more of a meditative state. And that's a good place to be in 3D, that you've got a body and you're able to meditate and get more relaxation and more calm. And you don't have to have thoughts or anything, because you just want to just chill. You just want to chill. So the 3D was that cheeky, the first one that was fairly cheeky. The second one that we're working with right now is the fourth dimension. And the fourth dimension is related to plasma cosmology. And that is where activations in my world, they are activations. So 4D is plasma cosmology, and this is where activations are running the energies, and I don't have to know how it works, but that's what the written piece had suggested. Then the fifth one was kind of about a time for just relaxing and a time of respite. So I'm calling the third one, it's the fifth dimension, and it's a time of respite. Let's just say we've been here for a while. We maybe had many lives. Who knows? We don't know. But we start working with the idea of just going inward and having that stillness and that sense of balance, and it's all kind of an internal meter. But even if you're looking just at the physical reality of Susie or yourself, is that there's other lines and consciousness that is wrapped all around the physical reality, which is Susie or you. So all of these things are huge bands of energies to assist a person to feel it is safe and it is clear that it's time for me to have a little bit of a respite. And so these are really very engaging and lovely times with the 5D, with a time of respite. The second session with this, so we did first these different dimensional realities, and then we're going to go into maybe a subject. All right. So for the first written piece, it was all about here we are now. Here we are now. We're present, checking in, right? The second one was about the activations. And so we're going to just call that one activations. These are clearly cosmic or plasma cosmology activations. And so also the third one is a time of respite. So when we start kind of like looking at the dimensional reality, some of the energy that's happening, then we can maybe give it some more energy. Here we are now was the first. Second is the activations. The third is a time of respite. And we all need that, right? We all need a little time just to kind of sit back and just be. It's just that sense of being. That time of respite is I just want to be. It just is. You could also say it's just ineffable. The experience of being in respite, it's just ineffable. All right, so we're going to move to the next layer of consciousness with these three written pieces that I have created. And the first one, regarding 3D and here we are now, we go into the color of citrus green, and we really look at the third dimension, here we are now, moving into citrus green, and then going into what we call honesty. So that's an earnest way of looking at some of these experiences from the third dimension. And then the second one is it's related to 4D, plasma cosmology, and moving through activations. And so it's so cute. So I just love to share. I just want to say this, but the color is opal, and my mother's name was Opal. So we're going to look at opal, the color, and then we're going to find transformation, through that second piece, with the 4D plasma cosmology, activations, and going into opal, the color of opal and transformation. And then we move into, again, another state of consciousness. 5D is about time of respite. And it's just all about relaxation. And the third one is the color lilac. The lilac is a beautiful place when you're in a respite to let some things go. Let it go. Or you can just say release. Things start releasing, and it's effortlessly. It is, so spectacular and effortlessly to let stuff go. All right. And even the good stuff, sometimes I've already done that, so I don't need to keep talking about that. But we start looking at what is it that I need to let go of, and what else in that space would be something new for me, something more creative, something really life supporting and Just find that what exactly it is that you want right now. What do you want right now? So I think that's it for now. We'll see you soon, and namaste.